Nonnewsh dreaming. They won it by 4 in the end.
American Anthem has taken off. American Anthem easily in the Woody Stevens.
Hi everybody and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by WinStar Farm. Let's take a look at the field for Saturday's Spa Baby race on the Whitney undercard. It's race number 6 at 6 furlongs for 2-year-olds. $83,000 is the purse for this maiden special weight. And as you see, the number 2 CV by WinStar Stallion Tis Now, the number 7 Nonnewsh by WinStar Stallion Painter, and on the also eligible list, the number 11 National Flag by WinStar Stallion Speightstown. Nicole will begin down towards the inside with the number 1 Thunder's Honor, and Dialed In surprised a few folks last year by being one of the leading freshman sires in the whole nation.
Yeah, Dialed In, those 2-year-olds really came out running, including stakes winner Ms. Locust Point on the Maryland Mid-Atlantic Circuit, a full sister to this one, Thunder's Honor. Dialed In, I think they'll definitely do better with distance. Dialed In, of course, himself won the Florida Derby, sire of horses like Gunnevera, who was on this year's Triple Crown Trail, but they definitely came out running early. They showed some ability and precocity.
There are some things to like about this 2-year-old. You mentioned Dialed In. You mentioned the full sister, a very precocious sprinter. The dam, a half-sister to a Grade 3 stakes-placed miler. This horse was bought back for $290,000 in April. And as we see from our formulator fact, trainer George Weaver sends these horses out ready to rock and roll at Saratoga over the past 2 years with first-time starters in maiden special weights for 2-year-olds at the Spa. 30%, a couple of 20-to-1 or greater winners. So Weaver sends out price horses. Thunder's Honor, interesting, though saddled with the inside post position. The number 2 is CV by WinStar Stallion Tis Now. I really like this pedigree. You've got the stamina and class of Tis Now on top and a lot of speed on the bottom.
Yeah, definitely. CV's Dam won the Grade 2 Forward Gal as a 3-year-old. She was multiple Grade 1 placed at 2. So there's a lot of speed in some of those shorter races, a lot of brilliance, and a lot of precocity with that coming out early as a 2-year-old there. Tis Now, a big strapping horse who sires really impressive physicals. Not necessarily known as a 2-year-old stallion, but he has had some outstanding runners in that category, such as Champion Folklore.
Several bullet workouts at Monmouth for a very good trainer in Kelly Breen. We'll see what we get with the number 2 CV. Remember, this race kicks off a $1 million guaranteed pick 4, so you're going to want to watch the board as well. The number 3 is Tap Master by the great Tappet, but we've got some speed on the bottom of this pedigree as well. I mean, this is the family of A Phenomenon, who was a big sprinter in the 80s.
Yeah, definitely. A Phenomenon, wow, really lived up to his name. A horse who had a race named after him at one point. Just brilliant, fast, Grade 1 winning sprinter. This is also the family of Grade 1 winning sprinter Declassify. The Dam of Tapmaster by Indian Charlie won at 2. You've got, of course, all that class on top with leading sire Tappet. This just looks like a pedigree that's going to fire in this type of race. But we've always talked about, Dan, a lot of these Asmussen horses do better second time out with a little bit of experience.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and Steve's runner's a little bit slow to find their stride here at Saratoga this meet. 10-to-1 on the morning line for the 3 Tapmaster, maybe second time out for this one. The number 4 is Engage. I was fooled by Chad. I was fooled by Jose Ortiz last week. Boy, that filly ran off the screen in one of our Spa Babies races. Engage worked a furlong in 9-4. Understandably then sold for $550,000 in a March sale. I look at this pedigree, I see turf.
You know, I think that could definitely be a future. There's certainly the sire into Mischief has been a versatile sort with horses like Vijack. Certainly a lot of turf underneath the female family. I do see a lot of speed in the pedigree as well, though, by leading juvenile sire into Mischief, the Dam Stakes Place Speightstown mare. This one's got a big foundation under her on the work tab. Her times seem to have picked up in recent weeks. So I'm going to be curious to see how she handles the dirt without the benefit of having seen the horse in the flesh yet. I kind of think this is one who could go either way.
I think you have to respect anything Chad is sending out right now. And again, you work 9-4 at the sale. You've got a little bit of zip, but the Dam earned her black type on the turf. The second Dam, a multiple Grade 3 stakes winner on the grass. The number 5 is Ravi Town. This one is by Jersey Town, but let's just talk about this female family. Big, big names.
Oh my gosh, just a big extended family. You couldn't flip a coin without hitting a Grade 1 winner. This is the female family that produced Horse of the Year Harvard de Gras, Belmont Stakes, and multiple Grade 1 winner Tonalist, Grade 1 winners like Risk Averse, just a lot of outstanding runners and a lot of stamina down in that female family as well. This horse is a half to a Grade 3 winner in Tastyville, by a Grade 1 winning miler in Jersey Town. I kind of think this is a pedigree that's going to do better with a little bit of distance.
This one was a $95,000 buyback as a yearling. Jersey Town, you mentioned, winner of the Cigar Mile, has gotten off to a nice start with his 2-year-old first-time starters connecting at a 19% rate. And the dam's a half to the Bink, who cost me a bundle when I needed her on New Year's Day 1995 in the Interborough Handicap, and she just couldn't get up. But who remembers these things? The number 6 is
You're not
Night
holding on to that
Strings.
one at all.
No, I'm not holding on to that one at all. The number 6 is Night Strings. And let's talk about Forestry, because he was a very fast horse, and he is really emerging as a nice broodmare stallion.
He really is. His daughters have produced, a handful of stakes winners in recent years, led, of course, by Kentucky Derby winner Nyquist, who is a very fast juvenile champion in his own right. I think Forestry injects a little bit of speed into this pedigree. Night Strings, Midnight Loot, 2-time champion sprinter on the top. I do think he can sire a distance horse. I like seeing Forestry under there to sharpen up the pedigree even more.
$70,000 buyback as a yearling, $95,000 buyback in April. Dam won 5 races. Second Dam one day, her debut was a versatile sort, could also go long. Night Strings is trained by John Kimmel, who can send one out ready to run first time out. Let's take a look at the formulator fact for Kimmel concerning Night Strings. Over the past 5 years, 2-year-old first time starters, maiden special weight dirt sprints at the Spa, 23%, almost a $3 return on investment. The number 7 is Nonnewsh by WinStar Stallion Painter. He's only had 6 first time starters. None of them have won, but this horse had a lot of class on the racetrack.
Painter actually just recently had his first winner, so he's starting to pick up. Yeah, they have come out a little slowly, though, but Painter was a little bit later developing himself. Painter was really well regarded, I think, when he went to stud. When I looked at his first yearlings coming to stud, looked at his to the sales, looked at his first books of mares, a lot of quality there in the mares, not just from WinStar and the Zayats, but from the farm's other clients and other breeders as well. It tells me that people put a lot of regard in this horse. This one, Nonnewsh, is out of a mare who won it too, but she's by English Channel. That makes me think, a more long-winded horse. It even makes me think turf. I think this one might need a little bit more ground as well, but coming from the Lucas barn for the Zayats, they're certainly going to have him tight and ready to fire.
I agree that this horse really seems ready for turf. You mentioned the Dam winning on turf. Second Dam, a nice horse on the turf as well. Night Strings, also trained by Lucas, likes to give him a race, as we see from our formulator fact, 0 for 31, only 1 in the money over the past 5 years with juvenile debut runners in maiden special weight dirt sprints at the Spa. Really nice pedigree for Nonnewsh. I'm going to wait until he stretches out on the turf. Let's move to the number 8 slot. It's Todd Pletcher. It's Javier Castellano. Almost an automatic contender. And then you look at the pedigree by Candy Riot, of a full sister to a Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. Watch out.
Yeah, the dam's a full to Trinaberg, who really I think was a little bit underrated. Everybody remembers him going out, contributing to that pace in the Derby and backing up. But when they let him get back to what he was good at, which was sprinting, he reeled off a lot of nice wins. He beat older horses that fall in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and just a really, really nice horse that this one is out of a full sister to.
14% winners with 2-year-old first-time starters. Candy Ride, this slot sold for $130,000 as a yearling. It's Pletcher and Castellano. Let's talk about the number 9 Arrival. You want to talk about pedigree. Doesn't get much better than this when you're a half-brother to a Breeders' Cup Classic winner.
Of course, and by the reigning leading sire Tappet on top of that. Arrival is a half-brother to Bayern, who won the Breeders' Cup Classic, but was also a really quick horse, winning, races like the Woody Stevens, the Haskell, I believe, on the front end. This Bayern, one of the more recent standouts from the Courtly D female family, and this is another family where you can't, look around without hitting another nice horse. And this one, Arrival, might be another nice runner from the family. fourth on debut and a really solid maiden at Churchill. The well-bred and well-regarded Hollywood Star won and has not yet run back. Runner-up Bourbon Resolution came back to run a good third, I believe, in a maiden at Saratoga that we recently looked at here. And the third place finisher, Eben, won next out, although against softer competition at Indiana. So I'm really interested in Arrival moving out of what I think is a pretty solid race on debut.
And this horse ran sneaky well because he just got slammed coming out of the gate, was put right behind the 8-ball, and he showed some determination and class to pass some horses in the stretch, and he's tuned up for this race with a big bullet workout at Saratoga. You have to expect some good things for the Marquesi-trained, beautifully bred Arrival. The number 10, Mad Money's. This horse is bred for speed. Blinkers on for Kieran McLaughlin. Was outpaced a bit in the career debut, but earned a solid Beyer speed figure.
Yeah, definitely. Fourth on debut. I'm interested going blinkers on there if that'll sharpen this one up. Another pedigree that looks like speed on speed. Munnings out of an Indian Charlie mare.
And WinStar owned the 11 National Flag, one of the also eligibles, a $600,000 yearling by WinStar Stallion Speightstown. If he draws into the race, you have to expect some speed from him. He's an intriguing contender. But if this race stays intact, where are you going?
I'm definitely going to take a hard look at Arrival. This is a horse that I've been watching for a bit, of course, with that outstanding pedigree. It's the sort of horse you tag to watch. I really do like that maiden he's coming out of at Churchill. As I mentioned, the horse who won, Hollywood Star, a very well-bred horse, half to a couple of nice stakes horses, very well-regarded. So anything finishing behind him, I've kind of been watching. And Arrival, I do think, had a troubled trip, should move forward off of that. I am going to be watching that Chad Brown firster Engage. I just like the work tab on this horse. I think there's some speed in the pedigree. And this is one that, as we mentioned, I sort of want to watch and see if I get a sense from the horse's physical or the horse's action what we think his best surface will be.
I agree. I have to use the 4 Engage in any sort of multiple race wagers. Chad's just been on fire. The horse really worked well. Again, this race does kick off a $1 million guaranteed pick 4. As of right now, prior to track conditions, scratches, etc. Couple of A's for me, the 4 Engage for Chad, the 10 Mad Moneys, who I'm expecting to run a lot better second time out for Kieran with blinkers. My B is going to be the 9 Arrival, and maybe the 5 Ravi Town, maybe one of those late runs if this pace falls apart. I agree with you, maybe this horse will want a little bit longer down the road. It's a fun race, the Spa Baby race on Saturday, presented by WinStar Farm. Nicole and I will be back a little bit later with Sunday's Spa Baby event. Stay tuned.